Hello, I'm Carrie Poppenberg. I'm the CTO of Neurovascular Diagnostics, where we are developing the first blood test to screen for brain aneurysms. It is estimated the US population has about 5% prevalence of unruptured aneurysms. However, largely they are asymptomatic, so they go undetected. Worldwide, there are over 500,000 aneurysm ruptures a year that cost the US healthcare system alone over $3 billion each year. Unfortunately, medical imaging is too expensive, risky, and inaccurate to be used for widespread screening. That's why we are developing a blood test, so we can identify these individuals who are at the highest risk so that they may receive imaging and preventative treatment. Our diagnostic is based on a panel of inflammatory genes whose expression is modulated by the presence of an aneurysm. From RNA sequencing of over 150 patients, we identified 50 genes that are correlated with the disease. We then used AI predictive algorithms to develop a prediction score. This can give doctors a probability assessment so that they know whether they need to have further imaging or treatment. We are the only current technology that does not require imaging to diagnose aneurysms. This is obviously a huge cost savings, and it also allows more people to be diagnosed without having to travel to an imaging facility more frequently and at a fraction of the cost of traditional angiography. Our equipment is designed to fit into standard lab equipment so that it can be seamlessly integrated into the clinical workflow from small GP labs to larger hospital sites. AnuScreen is the result of 5 years of research. We currently have patents pending for our gene panels to predict aneurysm presence and the risk of rupture. And in our NSF Phase 1 grant, we proved that we can detect aneurysm with over 90% accuracy and a negative predictive value greater than 99%. We are currently translating these results into a research-use-only prototype that we will begin validating in a CLIA lab this summer. This will be the step to making an LDT that we can license and then help us on our way to clinical trials and FDA approval. We are very excited to have Dexterity Diagnostics as a partner in this venture, and we are also supported by leading neurosurgery groups in the US and Canada, as well as large diagnostic labs like Penn Medicine and Kaleida Health. Our value proposition lies in detecting aneurysms before they rupture. If we screen 1,000 patients based on our analysis, we realize that we can detect 11 ruptures, saving approximately $11 million. Our initial target will be large hospital labs that have neurosurgery groups to order the test and clinical imaging sites to follow up diagnosis. Our ideal candidate will be a member with moderate familial risk and some cardiovascular risk factors. In this narrow market, we still see an addressable market of $937 million annually. We can further add to this value by increasing monitoring in negative predicted cases and using rupture risk assessment in positive predicted cases. Once we achieve clinical adoption, we will move on to the Japanese and European markets. We also sell to commercial labs and use the same technology to attack different diseases like stroke. Our team is comprised of leading neurosurgeons and biomedical engineers. We have medical professionals who have experience bringing devices from the lab space to the market. We also are supported by an advisory board with experts in the fields of neurosurgery and pathology and who have undergone device clinical trials before. Thank you for your time, and if you're interested in helping bring this to market, please see me after.
Work. I can't wait to see the large-scale clinical trials. My question is, basically, first I want to make sure this is methods to see the presence of aneurysm.
Correct.
So can you apply the same technique to tell if the aneurysm is stable or unstable, meaning risk of high rupture?
That's actually, our next venture is to design a gene panel also to assess rupture risk. So our first task will just be to decide if there is a presence of an aneurysm, but we are currently undergoing studies to have a separate panel that would tell you how risky the aneurysm is, and we're thinking of combining it with morphology and hemodynamics to really get a better idea of how risky the aneurysm is. Thank you.